my feet?
Do I want to or will I?
Will you rub my feet?
Got you.
I don't feel like you ever want to.
That's not true. Ain't true.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Miles and Karen and dealing with their relationship on Married at First Sight. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let's click on that bell button for a notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, it's the Mineral Gang. It's the Mineral Gang. Alright, cool. So we're going to talk to you guys about this particular episode, and let me tell you something, man. I was stressed looking at this episode. Karen was disappointing me at parts of this episode, but we're going to deal with the very first scene where both of them are sitting on the couch. And I think this is a very important scene because, like I said, there are undercurrents and there are tones and there are hidden energy that people put behind certain words. You ever met somebody that makes jokes but the jokes have a sting underneath it, so that they might say to you, oh, your hair looks nice. Now, the way they said it, like it was a comment but it sounded like it was a nice, genuine compliment. But you heard by the tone and the way that the facial expression came about and the way it was said, it carried a certain energy. It wasn't a genuine compliment. And here's the same situation, the same kind of vibe that I see from Karen week after week after week. The same thing with the swing situation where she teased him about, oh, I thought it was a swing situation, like, yeah, swing for 12 weeks or 12 years, whatever. Same time where she makes these comments, these little jokes about him being a kid, about being, not having a pet name situation. Karen always seems to find a way of, I would say, passively aggressively being belittling, and it really is frustrating to watch. But I have to now put some weight on Miles to say, brother, you have to wake up. It's time to wake up from the Matrix. Yeah. And I can see you waking up, bro, but I need to wake up faster because the D-Day is coming, and the D-Day is coming with speed. Okay? You've had 4 months. I want to deep this. Now, I know their relationship has grown on a basis where, they have been talking, have been emotionally... Well, I can't even say that because Miles even himself said it's not necessarily emotional deep, but they've been connecting on a informational level, okay? And they've been getting to know each other informationally. I should say that mentally. Yeah, they've mentally managed to attune to one another, right? That's why they won the task. They mentally were ahead of everybody else because they knew about each other. They spoke about things that they both liked, disliked, and etc, 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 etc. Now, on this particular couch, there was something that was done that I feel again is I'm trying to remember points that have happened in the past videos or past seasons this happened.
My feet.
Do I want to or will I?
Will you rub my feet?
Parts were obviously situations. So they were sitting on the couch and they've got a scene where Karen said, rub my feet. Now, again, the words itself are not necessarily vicious or, carrying poison. Again, it's tone, it's energy, it's the way it's said, it's how it's delivered. And Miles had to even correct her. Yeah? And that should tell you that correction by Miles should let you know what was said, how it was said, and how it was received. And if you guys have followed me, remember I keep telling you guys, in a marriage, you have to make sure that it's not just the communication that's right, it's the comprehension. If I don't comprehend a message, it don't matter how much you communicate, I'm not understanding. And so the understanding that Miles got from this particular situation in between himself and Karen, by the way, I want to make it very, very clear as well, they were both in yellow as well. They were color coordinating. We like that, you know what I'm saying? I've noticed that they have been color coordinating quite a bit for the past few weeks, but I've been so focused on other things. And so she said, I was rub my feet, and then he said, can you rub my feet? Now that assertion right there told you that, listen, I feel like he's getting a little bit fed up of the assertions and the I would say the commanding tone. No, I can't say tone, but there's an undercurrent of a commanding tone in it. Like when someone says something with an expectancy when there shouldn't be an expectancy. Like, oh, rub my feet, and you said it like you expect me to rub your feet. Hold on a minute, can you rub my feet? The reason why you're doing that is because here as well, I'm going to put it very clear, feminine energy rests in suggestion, not command. Let's get to that. feminine energy rests in, okay, and I'm saying feminine, I'm not just talking about females, but feminine energy, because everybody needs male and female energy. Feminine energy rests in the suggestive rather than the command. And I'll give you an example. In the Bible, Satan didn't command Eve, he suggested. See, so at that energy that he gave her, she was like, oh, okay. She made her question the situation. Do you get me? Right? And what did Eve do to Adam? Eve didn't speak. She just gave it to Adam, because men are moved by that action. You see, when a girl walks past, she doesn't have to speak. He just looks at us like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? We move by that, right? Not just by the vision, but what we see. When we see action, we're moved by that. You understand? Yeah? That's why when girls say, oh, I'm tired of him, but you don't show the action that you're tired of him, he's going to continue doing what he's doing because he don't believe you. You must show us action. And so back to the Karen and Miles situation, she didn't rest in that feminine energy. You see, that caring ability, that receptiveness, okay? You want a massage on your feet? You suggest it. Are you saying that you don't want to suggest, and I'm going to go obviously a little bit further onto the show, are you saying that you wouldn't suggest it at this point because he doesn't carry that masculine trait that you require for you to respect him enough to suggest it? Because you've already stated in the past few shows earlier on that this behavior of nurturing, caring, touchy-feely is natural to you. This is what you said to This is what you said to Miles after Dr. Pepper conversation. This is why I feel like it's disingenuous, and I think a lot of us are frustrated with Karen, not just because of the fact that she may not like the guy. Hey, you may not like the guy. You may not like the girl. It's normal. You understand? It's normal. But there's a way you behave. Yeah, and so at the moment that it was carrying an undertone. Be very careful in relationships, please, guys and girls. If you're in a relationship, be careful. And you know what? We do it all the time, right? We do it all the time. You say something to your partner. Your partner's like, "What's wrong?" And it's like all you said was, "Can you get up, please?" But the way that you said, "Can you get up?" it carried energy, and so that energy the person receives and goes, "Hold on a minute, what's wrong? Why you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you giving me that energy?" You're like, "It doesn't matter, nothing's wrong with me, da da da." But your first comment there carried an energy. And so it communicated something to the person, and they comprehended something, or they decrypted something from your message. So we've got to be very careful the way that we speak, because that's a very important aspect of relationships, especially when you're dealing from males and females. And then another joke was made about, he said, obviously, look, a joke about, oh, you're making me age or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then she said you could use a little bit of growing up. Again, not aging. She went, you can use a little bit of growing up. Again, speaking about his, remember, in the past few episodes, we've heard her talk about his maturity, and we've heard her talk about us as emotionalness and his masculinity, and the fact that he's younger than her, and calling him kiddo, and not being able to get away from the fact that, that she couldn't give him another nickname or pet name apart from kid or whatever, child or whatever. Like, so again, we're having another joke again about the age thing, and I keep saying this, is like, you don't need to
Aging me, you know?
You could stand to grow up a little.
Oh. You out the box.
You walked into that one.
to keep doing that. Like this is the funny thing is, because it wasn't long ago the girl was complaining about the fact that she got called a cougar, and she hated it. You hated it, right? And so for me, it's like, yo, again, like, come on, Karen, come on. So for the rest of us watching it, we're like, okay, Miles, you don't see it, do you? You don't see it that after a while, this is degrading behavior. After a while, this is disrespectful behavior. And again, I'm not, I think there's always a way to sort out issues in relationships. So I'm not even just advocating for them to break up. What I am advocating for is somebody else to come in and say, bro, fix up. Do you see what she's doing? And someone say to Karen, Karen, behave yourself. That is your husband. Behave. There is no excuse now for you saying, because he's not as masculine, I'm going to treat him in a bad way. No, if you don't like him, quit. Do you feel me? Like, there's no excuse for her behavior here. But they see, I keep telling this, like, you can't hide what you are, and you can't hide what you're about. And so the things that you say, the Bible says that even in our heart, that our hearts are wickedly above, our hearts are wicked above the sea. Out of there flows, all these things, right? But it's not just that. the key issue here is that, you know, we say things, but we say things out loud, but they're in our heart. And that's the issue. Because actually, when you said it, it was in your heart. You've been thinking in it. You've been meditating in it. You've been soaking in it. You know what I'm saying? And now you've blurted it out. You understand? Like, for real. So that's a big issue. You know, and you know, and then she said again, oh, you walked into it. And it's like, okay, do you know what? It's like, I get it. Couples tease each other. Listen, me and my missus tease each other all the time. But there are things, yeah? Let me be very frank with you. There are things you do not joke about. There are things in your relationship. Listen, tell me if I'm lying. Your own relationship you've been in, your marriage you've been in. Tell me there are things in your relationship that you just don't joke about. Tell me there are things that you stay clear from. You could make a joke about it, but you don't because you know the person could be offended. Why? Because as you learn in your partner, you realize certain things are not sensible. Certain things are just not needed. Certain things just shouldn't run. Because I have a healthy respect for you, so I'm not going to make jokes. Like, if my girlfriend's younger, I'm not going to keep making jokes about the fact that she's younger. My missus is younger. I don't keep making jokes about the fact that she's younger than me. I don't need to. What am I trying to achieve by making a joke about you're younger? You understand? Like, I don't need to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? I might make a joke about myself, calling myself a granddad, right? We're only like 3 years apart or whatever. But I might make a joke about myself. But I've made it about myself. Okay? And it was never an issue in the beginning. Never an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, even my gap here, you know what I'm saying? Like, my missus has never made a joke about the gap. She could. If she really wanted to, she could. Because she probably knows I'll bant and I'll laugh, innit, right? But she never did because she feels like that's an insensitive part to go into. There's certain things you just don't need to do. Certain things you just don't need to do because that person could be insecure about that particular thing. And we already know that you really don't like the fact that he was younger than you. So come on. Like, it doesn't take a genius to see that there's an erosion of the respect aspect. And I feel like she's passive aggressive with it. So she's not aggressive with her disrespect. She's just passive with it. And again, I've got to say that again. I don't know if Miles is blind to it. I don't know if the beauty is confusing him. I don't know. It can't be because they're not even getting sex. I don't know what's confusing him, but the brother needs to open his eye a little bit. Say, listen, do you know what? This thing can't run, man. The way you talk, like he's already said it before, but hey, I don't know. You might have to pull her up. D-Day situation, and I think what was interesting about that situation was the fact that I know Karen's mentioned the fact as well. She doesn't want that pressure of D-Day. She doesn't want that crazy pressure to make that decision. She doesn't want everything to hinge on D-Day. And it's like, I don't know what Karen's waiting for. It's been 4 months. There ain't no pressure. You should know by now. You should know about me. You should know about me. My name is Funky D. Like, you should know whether you really, like, do you know what I mean? Like, the reason why we're in this position right now is because behaviors have been out of sorts. The reason why we're in a position right now is because there's been a lack of respect. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we're in a position right now is because there has been a lack of communication. And I mean on both sides. As much as Karen has said it, there's been a way that she's said it in a certain way that's been hurtful. And so for me, the D-Day should have been like, the D-Day should be the conversation a bit like Armani and Woody. We already know that they try to push the Armani Woody story to the side and make them have problems when there's no problems. Because when you listen to the way that they talk about each other, you know that they're sure. You know they're confident. You know they're about to go to D-Day and just say what they need to say. You understand? That's why they have to fit in these kind of things. But with Miles and Karen, listen, if I didn't know already the end, you already know that, fam, listen, you can see that, listen, there are things that are not quite right. Do you get me? And that's putting pressure on them to make a decision. You know? And I felt like, you know, obviously the veil, the veil of the honeymoon phase is really coming to a crash and a burn. And I'm going to just steal something from another scene and we'll address that in another video. But something that Karen said, which really highlighted something, you know, about how Miles is now showing his true colours. And it's like, Miles hasn't shown his true colours. He's still doing what he was doing before. He's still being kind. He's still doing acts of service. He's still trying to love you. Still trying to be lovey-dovey. He's still expecting you to be lovey-dovey. Nothing much has changed apart from the fact that he says, I don't like this behaviour.
Where our head is.
Yeah, I feel like I want to be able to have that clear mind and that clear conscience that, like, I did everything in my power there was to do to be.
Obviously, she mentioned the fact as well, like, you know, she wants a clear head as they walk into decision day. And I think, you know what, let's be very frank, this is a very real situation, a real, a real time, because obviously, look, you got to make this decision and you got to make it for life properly now, right? And I think obviously when we address Miles and his conversation with his boy, address Karen, look, she spoke to the girls, I think you'll find that obviously in their relationships, that in this relationship, sorry, that the needs that need to be met, if they don't get met, you're asking for a lot of trouble going forward. I think that's as simple as it is. And like I said, this particular scene, I love the fact they were color coordinated. But my problem here is I'm ignoring that, right? Because there are bigger issues at hand. Right? If this is Amani and Woody, I'll be praising them. Look at them color coordinated, da da da. Because I know that's a bonus that's been added. But now there's color coordination, but then there's a lack of coordination when it comes to the needs and being able to express that. And I felt like obviously with the fact that Karen has said previously in the past, I'm a nurturing person. I'm touchy feely. I'm touchy feely when I feel safe in a relationship, darling. Suddenly it's gone from being feeling safe and trusting the person, having time, to now being the fact that he's not masculine. That's why you don't. I'm going too far into another review. But let me just end at this point. The fact that she changed the tactic now, it's not because she doesn't trust him or anything now. Now the reason why she's not feeling that way of touchy-feely or even the kissy, whatever, it is simply because, listen to me very carefully, it is simply because now, okay, he's not that masculine energy that you require. And guys, so this is a quick short one. We're going to deal with Miles and we're going to deal with Karen and their individual ones, and we're going to have a real deep conversation. Guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you.